Thank you so much, Shweta, for the really powerful opening address. I now invite Nitya Ramesh to set the context for today's conversation. Nitya Ramesh is the Director of Planning and Design at Jana Urban Space Foundation. She has extensive experience in urban policy, planning, and design across cities and states in India. Since 2013, she has been with Jana Urban Space Foundation, where she is deeply committed to the organization's mission for fixing India's cities. She's an Eisenhower Fellow, Eisenhower Women's Leadership Fellow 2024, and served on the High-Level Committee on Urban Planning Reforms constituted by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs from 2020 to 2024. Nitya, please.
Good morning, everybody. And thanks for that wonderful opening remark, Shweta. A lot of things that I wanted to say, you already covered and so beautifully. Thank you all for being here on a working day. So to get right into it, as Shweta said, Bangalore's drainage is in a crisis. And this is not a engineering problem or a design problem or a planning problem, but it is a problem of a systemic failure of all of that, plus governance, finance, and accountability. So today we're here to talk about how two things, that is drainage, and not just grey infrastructure that we are used to, but drainage, which is a combination of grey infrastructure and nature-based solutions, can become a solution to solve for two things. One is the flooding and the other is the drought. So Bangalore, let me just move to the next slide. So Bangalore is in a bit of a paradox. The water story is very paradoxical. The city experiences flooding on one hand and drought on the other hand. So while our streets flood, which is where we experience floods the most, and our nalas are compromised with encroachment, solid waste and sewage, our lakes are drying and the groundwater is depleting. Bangalore has a deficiency of around 500 million liters per day. And despite the amount of rainfall that we get, including cloud bursts and due to climate change, a lot of frequent rains, the water table goes down by 10 to 15 meters each year. So many reports say that in another 4 to 5 years, 40% of Bangalore will not have access to drinking water. Similarly, on flooding, despite us augmenting many of our drains through various schemes in the streets, as well as now with the World Bank loan augmenting the nalas, we are not able to slow down the water and allow it to recharge. Second, added to this is most of the water is contaminated with sewage and solid waste, which then ends up in our entire water ecosystem. So the flooding not only impacts mobility, all of us would have suffered in trying to move during rains. The smallest drizzle brings the city to a standstill. It also results in economic loss and quite often in loss of livelihood and lives as well. So to solve for this, there is a silver bullet, and that is to use a three-pronged framework of a street, a nala, and a lake. And at streets, we have to shift from the box drains, which are the RCC drains we commonly see at the road edges, to a more scientific system of a pipe and chamber network. All of our street drainage then goes into the 860 kilometers of nalas. And these nalas today are extremely encroached and contaminated with sewage and solid waste, whereas they could become biodiversity corridors, which allows for percolation and flood mitigation. Thirdly, these nalas lead to our lakes, and these lakes need to be not revived as point assets, which often happens, but as assets that are part of the system. So lakes improve biodiversity, increase groundwater percolation, and allow for flood mitigation. An added bonus is that both the nalas and lakes can also become everyday public spaces for the communities around. An important point is, as we fix this system of streets, nalas, and drains, is to ensure that we do a combination, various permutations and combinations, of course, of grey infrastructure and nature-based solutions. So, double-clicking on this, onto the street drainage, these box drains are the first point, and these are most commonly seen across all streets. They are not, however, fit for purpose. Firstly, the location. It's at the property edge, which makes it really difficult for the water on the roads to get into it. It has to travel a long horizontal distance. 90% of these drains, as seen in the picture to the left, do not have any inlets with grating to get the water in. Second, their location ensures that they are contaminated with sewage and solid waste because all house connections, as seen in the diagram of the right, house connections for sewage, for water supply, for power, have to bore through this duct. It is also the cover, which is usually these stone slabs or concrete slabs, are easily removable, and therefore the drains are filled with solid waste. It is a common sight pre-monsoon in most Indian cities to see these drains being desilted and mounds of debris kept on the sites. The nature and design of these drains, the box drain shape, also does not allow for maintenance of good gradients and slope, and really makes construction painful and long. There is an alternative which we pioneered in the Tender Shore roads between 2014 and 17. Started off with 10 kilometers, has grown to 134 kilometers. This is the pipe and chamber system. Firstly, the location is at the travel lane edge with catch pits every 20-30 meters with grating to allow for speedy evacuation of water. Water does not stay on the street for longer than 5 to 7 minutes. Second, each chamber can be equipped with percolation to allow for us to slow the water and some percolation at source. Moving drainage is not just about moving water from A to B. We have to slow it down and allow percolation at source across the street, nala and lake framework. Second, because of its location, none of the other pipes have to go through this pipe and chamber system, preventing contamination of sewage and water supply. Lastly, it's completely underground and sealed. These rickety drain covers don't exist. There is no hazard for pedestrian or other kinds of movement. So, an MEL that we did in 2022 and many conversations with engineers and contractors have proved that these roads, this system does not flood as compared to other similar roads in Bangalore which have the box drains. The next part of the street, nala and lake network is the nala. Currently our nalas are open drains. They're the backward part of the ecosystem, usually encroached upon and contaminated terribly with sewage and covered with solid waste. We need a 4P framework to rejuvenate this nala. The 4P stands for protect, preserve, promote and participate. Protect is to really look at the water quality, to use a series of nature-based solutions to remove both solid waste and sewage from the water. Protect is also to take care of the buffers and the edges of the nala to prevent encroachments. The second P is preserve, which is to look at NBS for edge engineering, creating constructed wetlands, creating sedimentation ponds, creating green edges that allow for biodiversity and also mitigate flooding slowly. And the third one is promote, which is to create where land is available. It may not be possible on every inch of every nala or every lake, but where possible to create public spaces as everyday public spaces for the communities around. And also you could explore green mobility corridors. So this improves ownership and community stewardship. And that leads me to the last P, which is promote. We cannot only look at increasing volume, increasing capacity, and moving water from A to B. We need to involve community participation. We need to institutionalize this community participation and increase ownership and care, stewardship for the entire water system. It currently in Bangalore does exist in many lakes. We need to extend that to the nalas and the street stormwater drainage as well. So based on this 4P framework, which both extends to the nalas and the lakes, Shweta had mentioned it, we piloted this 4P framework in Nallurhalli lake and nalas to channel, slow, filter and recharge runoff. On the left is the Nallurhalli lake. It has 3 inlets, 3 nalas coming in and 1 outlet that goes to Sheelavantakari lake. These 3 inlets carry sewage, solid waste and a lot of other pollutants. Inlet 1 in particular also carries hospital waste. The outlet therefore is also then polluted with everything else this lake has. So we worked on trying to create nature-based solutions, including a DWAT system, percolation areas, and then public spaces such as a children's play area around. Out of around 5 interventions that we proposed, we've successfully executed 3, which are the trash barriers and constructed wetlands at the mouth of the inlets to prevent solid waste and some amount of decentralized waste management, and to increase capacity of the outlet and to ensure that it is not lined with concrete, but to create a natural, you can see in the pictures below, a natural edging and increase the local biodiversity at the outlet level. The outlet capacity is increased more than 50% and has biodiversity. Now, we were also, the steps there was also some amount of public space that we were able to create. But, as Shweta said, this has been a learning experience, and we were able to do 3 out of the 5 initiatives. And the reason for that is that there are certain systemic failures, and which we need to address. We've put those systemic failures under 3 buckets. Bucket 1 is, of course, planning and design. Drainage plan or stormwater management plan is not regulatory or mandatory or part of the master plan. While we have a master plan and we have other regulatory plans like a climate action plan, ward level plans, drainage plans is not integrated with this. So that is something that has to be addressed. Second thing is there are no mandatory design, implementation or maintenance guidelines for any of these water bodies. And going on to the decentralized participatory governance, which is the second part, there is a lot of fragmented governance. That was one of the main reasons the remaining 2 initiatives out of the 5 could not be implemented, because BBMP stormwater drains owns the nalas, the inlets and the outlets. BBMP lakes own the lake. BBMP lakes has a high court order that CSR money cannot be used for lakes, but it can be used for stormwater drains. Within the lakes and stormwater drains, there's further fragmentation of many, many agencies. BWSSB, which is in charge of the sewage, is a parastatal. So there is also a lack of data and conflicting data between departments. The last thing is an important piece, which is state capacity. One is financing is fragmented across the organizations. NBS integration, nature-based solution integration in budgets is uneven, and there is a severe HR gap in the municipality. So these are 5 actionable pathways that we are suggesting, and hopefully, taking forward in all our 4 panels today. We will also be hearing from 4 external experts who are here with us from outside of Bangalore on work that they have done successfully in lakes, nalas, and waterways outside, which we can then further inform and refine the 5 pathways. The 5 pathways are, starting with planning, is to integrate and create a nested hierarchy of plans, where drainage plans are also part of the master plan, neighborhood level plan, climate action plan, comprehensive mobility plan. We need to get those together. Second is to legally mandate the guidelines. Currently, frameworks and guidelines do exist in a scattered form, but none of them are legally mandated. It's discretionary who wants to follow them and what percentage they want to follow. And while design guidelines exist, implementation and maintenance guidelines, there is a complete lack there. Third is, in terms of governance, we need an institutional architecture to create a water and sanitation department within the GBA with arms in the 5 municipal corporations. We will hear from Mr. Maheshwar Rao shortly on how GBA can help us solving some of our drainage issues. This needs to be supported with a 10-year financing plan. You can't have a drainage master plan which does not have a financing plan, which is why very often our plans stay in shelves and there is no implementation or enforcement. Lastly, but importantly, we need community stewardship. Currently, there is quite a lot of community action. We will hear from some of them in the second panel, but it is limited to lakes. We need to expand that to nalas and stormwater drains. But the community's relationship with the government is also tenuous. We can see it from the recent High Court orders. So the GBA's direction in institutionalizing ward committees is perhaps a great opportunity for us to take this forward. So these are our 5 bold bets to take forward a systemic change into the street, the nala, and the lakes to solve for Bangalore's drainage for both flooding and groundwater recharge. With this, I will stop. I really look forward to the rest of the day and interesting discussions on our panels and hearing our external speakers from beyond Bangalore. Thank you.